Literally, change a girl's hair, give her a good pair of shoes, and she can change the world. Oh my God, why won't it just stay the way that I want? Oh, I want this one over here. Okay. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'll be giving you guys a review of this new hairstyle that I'm rocking. So if you'd like to know how I'm really feeling about these box braids, please keep watching. So for those of you that have been watching my videos for a while, I'm sure that you're a little bit shocked by this because I've never done a style like this in my videos or in the outside world, outside of my videos. I haven't done braids in my hair since I was a little girl. My mom used to put braids in my hair a lot, but once I got older and I started to kind of do my hair myself and kind of find my own style when it came to hair and makeup, I said goodbye to braids. And I haven't really looked back since. But I'm currently on a hair growth journey, which I'll get into a little bit more as the video goes on. And there are a ton of benefits to having box braids. So I thought that now would be the perfect time to test them out, see if I like them, and see if they really do live up to all of the pros that everyone always says. So I'm on a little bit of a hair growth journey right now. Growing up, I was blessed with long, full, luscious hair that at its longest actually touched my waist. And you know, I was always the girl that people were kind of giving compliments to when it came to her hair, or, you know, wanted to touch her hair and things of that nature. And, you know, I really looked towards my hair as a sense of pride, as a place where I could get, you know, physical validation, and definitely as a source of beauty. And then came college. And, you know, when I was starting college, I kind of went through, I mean, I don't even know what to call it. I mean, really, when I look back on it, I think it was like a little bit of like a psychotic break because I don't know why I decided to chop all my hair off. But I just kind of went through this phase where I said, you know, I'm a woman now, I'm an adult. I, you know, want a different look. You know, I don't want to go to college and just have this really like long, limp hair. You know, I want to try something new. So I went into my hairdresser and I asked her to give me Aaliyah bangs. For those of you that don't know, Aaliyah was a singer that was really big in the late 90s, early 2000s, and she always had these bangs swooped to one side, and they usually covered one of her eyes. And I went in and I asked for that, and I asked for layers. By the time everything was said and done, my hair was barely below my shoulders after being almost to my butt. So, basically, I didn't regret it at first. You know, it was shocking, but I loved it. I loved, you know, being able to move my hair, you know, so easily, and, you know, it just having all of this body to it, and it was super easy to style and to wash, and I really loved it, but that was very short-lived. And, you know, now, about 7 years post-cutting, I've never been able to get that length back. And I know that it's due to many different things. I also was not very kind to my hair during college. It went through a lot of heat damage with me constantly straightening it, constantly curling it, and not really taking care of it the way that I should. But that's why I decided to try out box braids, because this is a very protective style, which I'll get into the pros and cons a little bit later. But this is a way that you kind of protect your hair from heat damage, from breakage, and you can hopefully experience a tremendous amount of hair growth from trying styles such as this. So my second reason for getting box braids right now is that I'll be leaving in a couple of days. Actually, right now it's 2 days. I'm not sure if this video will be up before I leave for Jamaica or while I'm in Jamaica. So I'm either leaving in 2 days or I'm currently enjoying Jamaica. But anyway, basically, I am going to Jamaica, and I wanted a way to protect my hair while I was there because, you know, going in the pool and the ocean every day, I would have to put heat on my hair basically every single day to try to either dry it or straighten it or style it in some way. So I thought that by getting box braids, I would be able to save my hair from experiencing a lot of damage over the 2-week period that I will be there. And also, I thought that it would be a great way for me to not really have to worry about my hair every day and worrying about styling my hair. I mean, I'll have enough things to worry about when I'm there about, do I want to go to the pool? Do I want to go to the beach? Am I going to have, the jerk chicken for lunch, or am I going to have a fried snapper? So I will have, bigger fish to fry, if you will, while I'm there. So I didn't really want to have to worry about my hair. So for me, I got my box braids done by a small hair salon in the Bronx in New York, where I'm from. For those of you that live in New York, have been to the Bronx, you know that there's basically a hair braiding place on every corner. It's not hard to find one. They're pretty much all the same. I mean, maybe there's a little bit of difference in, skill level or pricing, but for the most part, they're kind of all the same. For me, it was a little bit under $200. I forgot exactly how much. It was about like 150 or 170, somewhere around there. So it is a little bit of a financial commitment. However, as I said before, these are going to be in your head if you take care of them for 2 to 3 months. So if you're the type of person who goes out and gets a wash and set every 2 weeks or even every week, I mean, I do know that there are some girls that go weekly, every single Saturday or Sunday, they're in there getting their wash and set. If you're the type of girl that does that, if you kind of divide the 150 or 170 by the 8 to 12 weeks that you'll have these in, you'll be saving a massive amount of money in the long run. So it is kind of a lot to drop in one sitting. It seems like, oh my God, that's almost $200. But in the grand scheme of things, it actually saves you money. The first thing I will say is that box braids are a huge commitment, not only for the time you're going to have them in. For those of you that don't know, box braids can actually last between 2 and 3 months, depending on how well you take care of them while they're in. But actually getting box braids, the process of putting them in, is also a huge time commitment. Now, I was already a little bit familiar with the process of putting in box braids because my sister has been getting them for about 4 to 5 years now. However, this was my first time getting them put on my actual head. So all I will say about the time commitment is that we walked into the salon at around 9:45 and we were walking out after 7 o'clock at night. So if you do the math, that's literally like an 8+ hour commitment. That's like longer than a school day that you'll be sitting there. So if you do decide to get box braids, you need to be prepared to be sitting in a chair for at least probably 6 to 8 hours at the very least. But for me, I do think that the reward is worth it because yes, you kind of, want to kill yourself that day because you're sitting there for 8+ hours. But in return, you don't really have to worry about doing much to your hair for about 2 to 3 months. So to me, the time and the reward, they do kind of balance out and it is worth it. So now I'll get into a couple of the pros and cons, starting with the cons of getting box braids. The first one would definitely be the time commitment with getting them put in. As I said before, it's really not fun having to sit for 6 to 8 hours to get your hair done. However, as I said, I think that the pro to that of not having to really do anything to your hair for 2 to 3 months is worth it. Another con would be the fact that it is extremely, extremely hard for me to put my hair into a ponytail. Literally, when I came home, I tried doing it like this. I tried like taking half up first and then putting the other half up. I tried putting my head over and just trying to catch it all as I was hunched over, and nothing worked. They're just really heavy. No matter what I tried, there was always a couple of braids that were still peeking out. So it is extremely, extremely hard to put your hair into a ponytail. So I've started doing half up, half down, or I'll take the sides that sometimes get in my face and I'll just place it back and kind of do like this Gone with the Wind type of style here. This like, I guess, half up style. I'll also try that, and that has seemed to work. However, it is still hard because there will still be hair left on my back, which leads into my next con. which is the fact that box braids are very, very hot. I'm not sure if I would have had this problem if I got them in the winter, but right now in New York, it is in the high 80s, low 90s, and having all of this hair on my back at all times is difficult. It makes me extremely, extremely, extremely hot. So that is another potential con. If you're a person who doesn't like having their hair down, if you're a person who gets hot very easily, or some people even kind of get heat illness where if they're too hot, they actually start to feel ill, they start to feel lightheaded, you might really want to rethink getting box braids because it will make you very hot very easily. Also, not being able to put my hair up does become a little bit of a problem when I'm sleeping. I've been sleeping with my air conditioner on, so I just kind of drape the hair on top of my pillow, and I didn't really wake up sweating or anything like that because my room was ice cold when I woke up and all through the night. However, I think if I did not have that and I was only sleeping with a fan or I wasn't sleeping with anything, I would have kind of woke up drenched in sweat, which wouldn't have been fun. Another potential con is the fact that it is a little bit heavy on my scalp. So if you're a person who's very tender-headed, again, you might really want to rethink getting box braids. I'm not tender-headed. It's not like I'm, getting headaches or anything like that, but it is tight. And I do know that it will loosen up as the days and weeks go on, but it is tight. I mean, they literally have to take a little small section. You can see the way that it's parted of your hair and they braid in extra hair with it. So not only do you have your hair, your natural hair in this tight braid, but you also have all of this extra hair in it as well. So it is very heavy. It does kind of put a little bit of tension on your scalp, which leads into my last con, which is, as I stated before, I did decide to get this because I'm going on vacation and I am a little bit worried about how heavy it will be once it's wet. After I go in the pool, after I go to the beach and my head is fully submerged and, this kind of soaks up all the water, I'm a little bit nervous about how heavy it's going to be after that. So now on to the pros of getting box braids. I know it seems probably as if I hate box braids because I named like a million cons to them, but there are a lot of positives, a lot of pros to getting box braids. So number one, box braids are a protective style. As I stated before, I am on a hair growth journey. What I mean by a protective style is that your hair is literally protected. You're not going to be putting in any type of product that could weaken your hair or break your hair, such as hairsprays, gels, mousses. You're not going to be putting any heat on your hair. You're not going to really be doing anything that could potentially weaken your hair for 2 to 3 months. So your hair is protected by these braids, which is a great thing if you're trying to get your hair more healthy. If you're trying to grow your hair the way that I am, box braids will literally protect your hair for as long as you have them in. Another pro to having box braids is that you can adjust the length of your hair. My hair is basically naturally, naturally it's probably right here. And as you can see with my box braids, here's my natural hair. I have all of this extra hair in right now. So it's basically kind of, I guess, like a way to add extensions into your hair, to add length to your hair. Right now, I'm kind of transported back to a time when I had really long hair, because if you look, I'll sit up a little bit. My hair, even in front, is almost down to my waist, or really is. The very tips are actually touching my waist. So it's a easy way to adjust the length of your hair. Again, you don't have to get them as long as I got them. I got mine all the way down to my waist, but you can tell them how long you want them when you go to get them done. Another potential pro to having box braids is that you will not experience any frizz, especially with it being summer. The last thing that you want is to have to worry about your hair getting super frizzy or, falling if you have it curled or anything like that. So with box braids, you do not have to worry about experiencing frizz of any kind. Another pro is that, in my opinion, box braids actually look good on all hair types. I've looked through pictures on Instagram after searching the hashtag box braids, and I've seen girls of all races, black, white, Indian, Spanish. I've seen all different races rock box braids, and in my opinion, they all looked good. They're all different, but they all look amazing with box braids. So no matter what your hair texture is, no matter how thin, no matter how thick, no matter what your race is, your background is, I personally think that you can rock box braids and look fabulous doing it. So just a couple of tips before we wrap up. I would definitely suggest washing your hair a night or two before you decide to get box braids. You wouldn't want to get this style with a lot of gunk in your hair because you're probably not going to wash them for a couple of weeks after getting them. So you want to make sure that you're starting with a completely clean slate. Another tip is to make sure that you're taking care of your scalp and putting oil on it. Again, as I stated before, you're not going to be putting product into your hair. You're probably not going to be washing your hair as often as you would if you just had your natural hair out. So you definitely want to make sure that you're putting oil on your hair. You're keeping your scalp nice and hydrated while you have your box braids in. As for me, I kind of go between regular hair oil and also castor oil, which promotes hair growth. So whichever type you use, you just want to make sure that you're keeping your scalp nicely oiled and hydrated while you have your box braids in. My last tip is to just remember that although box braids are a protective style, it is not an excuse for neglecting your natural hair or neglecting your scalp. So you want to make sure that you're still taking care of your hair, you're still taking care of your scalp, you're washing it, you're oiling it. If you're seeing any type of buildup, if you're experiencing any type of dryness, remember that your natural hair is still right here. It's still braided in. Even though you have this extension in it, your natural hair is still there, and you want to make sure that when you take out these braids, your natural hair is still just as beautiful and luscious and full and amazing as it was before you added in these box braids. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed learning a little bit more about why I decided to get box braids, my hair growth journey, and how I'm liking box braids so far. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. And as always, please consider subscribing to my channel. I have a lot of cool, interesting, fun videos coming really soon, and I would love for you to be able to be updated on when they're released. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you guys in my next video. Thank you.